I want to keep my house in divorce, but I'm afraid that I can't afford a refinance. What should I do? Hi, I'm Bill Farias, founder of Farias Family Law, and we just spoke to someone a couple of days ago about this very issue. This person is moving toward divorce. They're very comfortable in their home, been there for over 10 years. The children are there. It's where they were raised. And this person is just afraid to move down the divorce path because they're afraid they're not going to be able to keep their home, and that's going to mean a lot of change. So what do you do if you're in this situation where you want to keep the house, but you know that in some cases there has to be some kind of buyout for you to keep the house, and in many cases there has to be a refinance to keep the house because you cannot keep the house indefinitely with the other person on the mortgage? So the first thing that you want to do here is you want to crunch the numbers to assess the likelihood of a buyout. What a lot of people do in this situation is they just bury their heads in the sand and they don't want to look at the situation or think about it because they're afraid of what they might find out. And you don't want to do that, right? If you're in an unhappy marriage and it's taking its toll on you psychologically, emotionally, that's no way to live your life, right? Sure, staying in the house is great if it's affordable and it's something you can do, but you always have to weigh that against the toll that a bad marriage is taking on your overall happiness. And if you have children, that's trickling down to the children. So don't be afraid to take a look at the numbers, crunch the numbers. The best place to start is you can talk to a divorce attorney about what your finances might look like once an order is in place. Because to figure out whether you can refinance the house, to figure out whether you can afford to live there beyond divorce, you need a reliable assessment on what child support and or alimony might look like if those are issues in your case, right? So if there's a significant disparity in income between the spouses, it may be that there will be an alimony order. If there are children involved, it may be that there will be a child support order. You need to know what those numbers might be in order for you to reverse engineer and figure out what your income will look like and what you will be able to afford. And of course, until there's an actual order in place, you won't know 100%. But if you talk to a reliable divorce attorney about your circumstances, you can at least get an idea of what this might look like. And with those numbers, you can start to explore your options. So analyze the numbers, talk to an attorney about what support or alimony might look like to give you an idea of your post-separation income. And then you'll be in a position to really size this up. Most importantly, connected to the first point I made, is don't be paralyzed by fear. Recognize that generally human beings hate change. Change is very difficult, and so a lot of people just bury their heads in the sand and pretend that everything's fine because they don't want to face the change. And unfortunately, what happens is they suffer long term. Right? If they're in a bad relationship, then they continue to be unhappy. It continues to affect their mental health, their physical health. And again, if it's impacting your health and you have children, then that is impacting your children as well because it's trickling down to them. So it's indirectly hurting your children if you are not facing the reality that you're in a relationship that's not working. So that doesn't mean you're getting divorced or you're staying together. What it means is you are at the very least getting yourself to a point where you are looking at your circumstances objectively, asking yourself objectively whether this marriage is going to work, and taking steps that are in your best interest. At the end of the day, it's up to you to weigh the pros and cons of moving forward with this and whether or not you can keep your house and what that means for your interest in pursuing divorce. And there are a number of things that you're weighing in this calculation, but don't forget about your happiness. Don't forget about your well-being. A lot of people have unfortunately made the decision to sacrifice their happiness and overall well-being just to stay in a home, and that's not the way to go. If you're making that decision with all of the information in front of you, and you're making that decision rationally and objectively, then that's your decision to make, and you need to do what's best for your family. But don't get ruled by emotion. Don't let fear dictate what you do. Get yourself to a point, whether through counseling, talking to people, that you can look at everything objectively and make the decision that's best for your family. If you have any other questions about this, you can call us 508-675-0464. You can email us at info@fariasfamilylaw.com. If you found this video helpful, you can subscribe to our channel, share it with anyone you think might benefit from it, and you can find us on social at Farias Family Law. Thank you. Have a good day.